2 people were killed and a child was wounded after the Russian-built bridge linking the annexed Crimean Peninsula to Russia's Krasnodar region was attacked. Local residents reported hearing explosions in the early hours of Monday, following which Russian officials warned of an emergency situation on the key bridge. The Kremlin has said that Russian President Vladimir Putin has been briefed on what it called a terrorist attack on the Crimean Bridge. The Kremlin has blamed Ukrainian forces as well as US and the United Kingdom for the attack. Now, this is the second major incident on the Kerch Bridge in the past 1 year. In October 2022, the bridge, which is an important supply route, was partially closed following a major explosion. Meanwhile, the Kremlin has declined to extend the Black Sea grain deal, stalling the export of Ukrainian grain to the rest of the world.
A Russian couple were killed and their 14-year-old daughter wounded on Monday in what Moscow said was a Ukrainian attack. It happened as they drove across the Crimean Bridge at night for what they hoped would be a family holiday on Crimea's Black Sea coast. This video, released by Russia's investigative committee on Monday, showed its investigators collecting debris on the damaged section of the bridge. It was not immediately clear how the bridge, one of President Vladimir Putin's prestige projects, was attacked. The Ukrainian military suggested it could be some kind of provocation by Russia itself. But Ukrainian media cited unidentified sources as saying that Ukraine's security service was behind the incident. The wounded girl was named as 14-year-old Angelina. Her parents, Alexei and Natalia, both died. The 12-mile bridge over the Kerch Strait is the only direct link between the transport network of Russia and the Crimean Peninsula, which Moscow annexed from Ukraine in 2014. It was a flagship project for Putin, who opened it himself for road traffic with great fanfare by driving a truck across it in 2018. It's made up of a separate roadway and railway, both supported by concrete stilts. The bridge is crucial for the supply of fuel, food and other products to Crimea, where the port of Sevastopol is the historic home base of Russia's Black Sea Fleet. It's also become a major supply route for Russian forces after Moscow invaded Ukraine on February 24th. Russia blamed Ukraine for an attack on the bridge last October. Ukraine admitted only indirectly to the attack months later. Afterwards, Russia launched strikes against Ukrainian cities, including power supplies, in retaliation. Just hours after Monday's attack, Russia said that it had halted participation in a landmark UN and Turkey brokered deal which allowed Ukrainian grain to be exported through the Black Sea. The Kremlin said the halting of the deal had nothing to do with the bridge attack.
Президент России дал поручение об организации работы по движению транспорта на крымском направлении, обеспечении помощи и содействия людям, находящихся в пути. Путин также поручил организовать работу по проведению ремонтно-восстановительных работ. Это все дело рук киевского режима. А мы все будем работать и сохранять бдительность и собранность с тем, чтобы воспрепятствовать повторению подобных трагедий.
Russia has suspended participation in the Black Sea deal that allowed Ukraine to export its grains. Moscow announced the move Monday. It came just hours after an alleged attack on the bridge to Crimea, but officials denied there was any connection. Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov said the West had failed to implement measures intended to facilitate Russian exports.
The grain deal has halted. As soon as the Russian part of the deal is fulfilled, the Russian side will resume the fulfillment of this deal without delay.
The last ship carrying grain left Ukraine on Sunday. Nearly 33 million tons of corn, wheat and other grains had been exported by the country under the deal. Now Moscow's move will raise concern over global food supplies and prices. Carlos Mira is head of research for agricultural commodities at Rabobank. He says developing nations look vulnerable.
So prices will go up. That will mean more food insecurity at a time when, of course, countries, especially underdeveloped countries, are struggling with debt in many cases. So we will expect food security to become an even more pressing topic in the future.
The initial market reaction to the deal's demise was muted. Wheat futures rose around 3%. Traders said there was a view that the EU and other suppliers would be able to satisfy demand. But leaders remain concerned and will hope to revive the agreement. Turkish President Tayyip Erdogan said he would discuss it with Vladimir Putin at an expected meeting in August. Erdogan said he believed the Russian leader wanted the pact to continue.
I am so sorry to say that today Russia has refused to prolong this deal. And this is something very serious that will create a lot of troubles to many people around the world. We, from our side, we will do everything we can through our solidarity lanes in order to make available the Ukrainian grain for the people who eat from it. And I have to blame Russia for this decision, completely unjustified, weaponizing the hunger of the people.
Let's be clear, this Black Sea grain deal agreed under the auspices of Antonio Guterres is very important, especially for the most vulnerable countries, because this agreement, together with the European solidarity lanes, it is helping to make sure that the most vulnerable countries have access to the grains and to the fertilizers they need for the people, for the population. And that's why we fully support all the efforts of Antonio Guterres to make sure that the continuity of this agreement will be guaranteed.